Hello everyone! This video is going to be completely different from what I usually upload. Adventure 4 is one of my most favorite Roblox games out there. This 3D Mario parody, along with a few others, helped define Roblox Adventure games. So I decided to recomplete the game, but with a huge twist. I'm going to attempt completing all levels backwards. I know this is going to take a long time depending on each level, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. Before we start completing them backwards, let's set some ground rules. The starting points will always be at the stars, and we have to reach the beginning spawn point where we first spawn in the world in order to confirm that it's possible backwards. If an area leads us to a potential sub-area, we have to at least reach the beginning of the sub-area. No cheesing the levels. This means no clipping, no using lag for your advantage, and no power-up cheesing. What do I mean by power-up cheesing? Well, let's say you take a dash pepper, and you reach the end of the course, right? Well, you have to wait for it to wear off, and not use it until you reach another one. Now that we got the rules in set, is it possible to beat Adventure 4 backwards? I'm just gonna answer right now. No, because we are focusing on the individual levels. Also a quick note, if you haven't played Adventure 4 at all, I recommend playing it first, since the ending could contain some minor spoilers. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's start things off with World 1, the Adventure Grounds. Hammer Time is the first mission we are going to do backwards. And would you look at that, you could just jump off and swim all the way to the start, making this possible to beat backwards. The same goes for Hydroelectric Swim, which was as easy to complete backwards. Remember when I said earlier when sub-areas had different rules? Well, Rainbow Run is one of those exceptions, because there is no way to get to the start of the world from there, so we are just going to go to the start of the sub-area instead. Well, no surprise, Rainbow Run was extremely easy to complete, but I can't say the same for Geared for Adventure. It is impossible to escape this glass box. And with that all out of the way, let us complete Chalaire's Challenge course. And yeah, it is possible to complete Chalaire's Challenge course backwards. So that means 4 out of 5 missions are possible to complete backwards. With that out of the way, let us move on to World 2. Cavern Club was definitely a breeze. Backstage Pass, Aquarium Lounge, and Jam Session were all more than possible. As for grinding it up, I saw no possible way to go backwards. I hopped on the platform where the blades ride on. I walked around the corner to see if I could use anything. But then, I saw a way back. There is this wall blocking my only way back. So, I had to think of a plan on how I could get past this wall. After thinking for a while, I had this dumb idea. Wow! I did not expect that to work. Apparently, you could jump on the saw blade spots. That is insane. Roblox physics? Oh my gosh, you are just broken. Now that I learned that new trick, I used it to complete the rest of the level backwards. And believe it or not, it was possible to beat Grinded Up backwards. That is an outstanding trick. Smooth sailing, am I right? Now let's see if Signal's Challenge course is any different. Oh, nope. There's no way you could get up there or get past this wall. Shame the streak broke. Another 4 out of 5 possible. Anyways, on to World 3. World 3. An amazingly crafted world it is. Too bad it's home to many major roadblocks. Top of the Snowman, I got pretty far back. Until I realized you're basically stuck down there once you take the marble path. Snowball course also leads to that same path, so there's no need to explain it. What do I even need to say for down the polar axis? Same outcome. Saving Christmas, huh? Well, Christmas is ruined, thanks for me being stuck here. Go ahead, take a wild guess for a Compiled Challenge course. Yep, that's what I thought. This is amazing. None of Frosted Snowland's levels can be completed backwards. I hope World 4 doesn't give us the same fate. Woodland Workshop was a lot more fun than I expected to do backwards. Waterlogged was a piece of cake. I first thought the cutting room floor would be difficult, but when you get closer to the beginning where you're supposed to use a saw to move on, I took advantage of that axe and jumped on it. From there, I used the same trick I previously did back at Cavern Club. After doing that same trick again, this one is doable, including on the edge. Athletic course wasn't. But let me tell you something that I attempted here. I thought just maybe if I could get up to that wall using that hammer, I would find a pathway back to the start. So I attempted this multiple times. After a while, I managed to get up there. I looked around to see if there was any type of path I could use to go all the way back to the birdhouse. After searching for a while, I realized there was no way. Now for Plog's challenge course. There was an open area allowing me to make a very precise jump to the booster. I then kept hopping on the booster until I reached an area where I could be possibly far enough. The start of the course was closer than I expected it to be, so I thought of doing something. What if I did another precise jump? Would I get far enough? I tried doing it, and I barely made it. I didn't give up though. I tried doing it again. And just by a hair, I successfully reached the beginning of the course. Another 4 out of 5 levels possible to complete backwards. On to World 5. Tower of Star Sanctuary is next. My first instinct for the Tower of Time was to jump off from the top, but those are blocked by invisible barriers. Instead, I jumped inside the clock tower, and managed to complete it. In the robotic ruins, you're trapped inside this cage, so there's no way out. There really wasn't much to say for the Temple of Kings. Just dash pepper out of there, and you're all good. I got cocky for the Sky Watch Post. I thought it would be easier, because you can hop on the edge of the buildings. But then, I was greeted by an unexpected surprise. The devs put a trip mechanic on those structures. I tried every possible shortcut route for this area, and it's always the same outcome, trip and die. But one time I managed to soft lock myself in the trip mechanic, somehow making me stand and trip endlessly on this one platform. Well, it's sad to say that this mission is impossible to do backwards. But here's something weird. In Anshine's challenge course, the beginning of the course was barely possible to reach. So I tried the same technique I did for the previous mission, and surprisingly it worked. I didn't trip or anything. I kept on hopping and landed on this cloud, and thus another challenge course is possible. 3 out of 5 missions are possible in heaven. On to World 6. Sandbrick Sandbox was a sad experience. Sandstone Switcheroo was a no-go, thanks to these sand blocks. For jump rope course, I jumped on the swamp to see if I gained enough speed and height in order to reach that jump rope platform. I tried this a couple of times, but I got no luck out of that. No problems for Secret of the Bucket. I really didn't like Tornado Spinout. I spent over 20 minutes trying to reach that one platform. It's so close to the start, and every time I make a super precise jump, I barely make it. I tried so many times here. It always ends up the same. As easy as it may look, you cannot make it. That's a shame. Lastly is Ellipsis challenge course. I decided to use the dash pepper to go backwards, and this ramp is too high for me to reach. Only 1 out of 5 are possible backwards? Sheesh. World 7, I really hope you don't bring me that same exact outcome. Mad Dragon Festival is my personal favorite. Trial of the 7 Dragons was a lot more fun to do backwards than normally. I don't know why, probably because it felt easier to me. I felt confident about this until I reached this part. Normally, you're supposed to use the dash pepper to jump over these dragon scales, so I just jumped normally and I died. But then, with the power of my dumb luck, I jumped on one of the spikes and managed to reach the top, making this possible. Boy, let's talk about Ninja Rooftop Run. This course was insane. So first, I just jump off, use the dash pepper, go this usual route I go to. I tried jumping off this ramp in order to reach the other ramp, and that didn't work. But I noticed something peculiar about these buildings. You see how the way they're decorated? What if I could hop to these open spots and make it to the small green tile right over there? It was an insane thought, but I had the thought process in mind. It's a trick I like to call Pepper Wall Hop. I was sitting here for over 40 minutes trying to perfect this trick. The basis was I take the dash pepper, keep mind of the time so I have enough time to jump to the next building, use shift lock to carefully hop on the open spots as fast as possible, and at the last second, jump off the left side of the building onto the middle open spots. But then a miracle happened. I can't believe I actually did it. The rest was easy. Just hop over the walls and do the super precise jump, and you will actually make it. Oh my gosh. That was an experience. Dragon Ball course? Nope, you can't go anywhere jumping off these dragons. Into the dojo, you're locked inside the room where the star is. Nothing can be said about Erlen's challenge course, you just can't do it. So 2 out of 5 missions are possible here. Let's move on to World 8. I had high expectations for Battery Canyon, and yet all of those were shattered. Particle Acceleration was already a long course, but this jump is too long to make. In Battery Laboratories, I tried 2 things, wall hopping or getting over that electric fence, and both attempts failed. There's no use talking about Underground Reservoir, because your way out is all the way up there. Solar Powered Run was also pretty disappointing. I first tried to make a precise jump to that platform, only for me to learn there's no hope in this level. Minnow's challenge course, I searched for a while to see if there's any open spot I could possibly use to my advantage. After a while, there was nothing I could do. This world is like Frosted Snowland all over again. None of them are possible backwards. Let's just move on to World 9. Distortion Paradise is our last world. Danger Mountain offers nothing for you. The good luck watching the level will tease you with its scenery. I overestimated over arrow pads because you could just swim all the way back to the start and climb this ladder. If it wasn't for this ladder, we wouldn't be able to do this backwards. You're basically stranded in distorted depths. Nothing you can do about it. I thought distorted skies would be easier because I decided to jump on this ramp, but it has a trip mechanic on it. So I did it again, and I got myself stuck like I did back in the Sky Watch post. Even if I somehow managed to scale this obstacle, I still wouldn't be able to beat this due to how far some platforms are. It's pretty obvious that Ixel's challenge course can't be completed that way, which means 1 out of 5 missions are possible. And now, it is time for the final level. Well, here we are, the final level. Now, is it possible to beat Shattered Shardscape backwards? No! That's right, you can't. You're trapped in this area, this long hallway, with no escape. Even if you make it to the end, you can't teleport out. Now that's a final world. That's an amazing conclusion. But I'm not done yet. We still got the post-game to cover. The post-game was fairly interesting. Y'all Gates Dimension is basically a one-way door. If you try to hop on these platforms, you will be forcefully pushed the other direction. Stratosphere's Dimension, you cannot go back, as you need to press that switch in order to activate a bridge. Moreward is a no. Passless is also a no. Finally, the one I want to talk about, Voixxer's Dimension. This was very interesting to do backwards. Not because of the concept of the stage, but the way you do the concept in reverse. This required so much muscle memory. I had to blindly jump and guess where the platforms were without pressing the button. That took a long time. I'm not sure how long because I wasn't really counting how long while recording this. I was more concentrated for how long this will take me to memorize all these. This was the most craziest obstacle I've ever encountered. Yeah, even crazier than the dash pepper jump. This was the ultimate patient test. Just blindly guessing where the platforms are until you're lucky enough. I knew this was possible to do. We all knew this was possible to do. But my god, this course bring out skills in me I didn't know I had. Blind guessing everything? Wow. You know what they say, practice makes perfect, and all that practice paid off because I managed to beat this course backwards. We're still not done yet because we got the bonus levels to cover. Let's do this. I already knew from the start Clockwork Relic would be impossible to complete backwards, but I tried it anyways. One thing I tried doing was climbing upwards, but I couldn't since there was a trip mechanic platform up there. My other plan was to jump on the saw blade spots like I did in earlier courses. But this time, the devs were smart and disabled collision. Wow. Up, up, and away indeed, because you're so far away from the goal at the clouds. In Eerie Estate, you're trapped inside the caves. In Jasper Jungle, you can jump over those leaves, but that's as far as you can go in this stage. Alpha Base, you're stranded on this platform. In Vintage Voltage version 2, you're trapped inside the robot. Superstar Carnival also traps you near the star. Well, that happened, but why are these levels continuously trapping you? Treacherous Toy Box, however, was a significantly different pace. Heading towards the back of the train and jumping off the wheel in this direction allows you to go straight to the start. High Roller Casino, your luck just ran out. And by common sense, Synthetic Cascade's start is impossible to reach. Lavender Heights was a walk in the park. Just jump down and you'll be good. The goal is unreachable and nowhere to be seen in Spectre Study. And Lemonade Lagoon is way out of reach. As much as I like Stonewall Corridor's amazingly crafted level, it still wasn't possible to do backwards. Distortion Force was surprisingly simple. Just grab the dash pepper, jump off the mountains, and you will return to the start. Pyro Cryo Mountain only had one roadblock, and it was that dragon. Normally you're supposed to use the dragon to get to the other side, but since the dragon is going pretty fast, I had to time each jump right in order to fight the opposite direction. And it didn't really take long to perfect. All I did was use shift lock to time the jumps, and then I made it past the dragon, which makes the rest of the level a cakewalk. You can already give up on Magma Hall. That platform is not coming back. And finally, we have Final Firestorm. My idea was to make another precision jump. And no, it's not from a gap. It's on that fast-moving propeller. When I was recording my attempts, I somehow did it on my first try. And after that, the level was fairly easy to complete backwards, thus making this possible. The analogy is finished, now let's see the final tally. According to my experience, 25 levels are possible backwards, while 44 aren't. This was a lot of fun to do. Even during the hard times I had in these levels, I learned a lot from these experiences. Many new tricks, clever strategies, patience. What I'm trying to say is, this was a fun challenge I came up with. And I hope you enjoyed watching me do all this. This was very interesting to do. And if any of the levels I said were impossible to do backwards possible, let me know in the comments or in my Discord server. And as always, stay mixed up.